Welcome back to Furry Trash, the podcast for furries by furries. I'm Rose Get in the Box, and welcome to another episode of the show. This week, I am joined by Frostfox. Say hello, Frostfox.
Howdy, y'all. Frostfox here. Glad to be
Frostfox,
here.
I'm delighted to have you here, first of all. Tell people who you are and what you do.
Well, howdy. I am Frostfox. I am a Texas YouTuber in the middle of Texas. I do the YouTube. I also have my fursuit Frost here. And I also just do any content like either furry or Minecraft content just with my character. He's been here since 2017, and yeah, I've been doing YouTube ever since 2019. It's been a blast, been able to interact with people, and just overall had a very fun time.
How did you end up creating Frost, and how is he here today?
All right, it's kind of an interesting story. It was during when I joined the furry fandom in 2017 around the summer. I didn't really have a character at the time, so that's when I decided hey, it's your chance to make a character. So I was like, all right, where do I start? Because you could literally create anything in the furry fandom, like a fox, a bear, like any species. And I was like, okay, Frost, why don't you go basic and go completely unoriginal with a fox? So I went with a fox, and then I decided to put it as an Arctic fox because, well, I love the snow, and I add a little blue in there because back then there were two popular YouTubers named they're still popular, Vix and Dunk with Rika Strawberry and Majira Strawberry. And I was like, okay, so what if I had Majira and Rika sort of combined? And that's where I took the blue and when Majira had his old persona with the yellow ring, I put a purple instead. Add some blue here, dark blue, purple, white. And that's why I transformed into what is today known as Frost. He had a little bit more of an update because his eyes, they never always had these purple underdrops. That's when I added them later. It was an accident made in a commission for Halloween of 2017, where it's hey, I put purple under here because, hey, it's supposed to be scary. And I said, okay. I didn't have an official ref at the time, but when I decided to give art of Frost with those purple eyes under it for the ref, I didn't know he would actually put it for the ref. And then, yeah, here he is. That became Modern Frost.
So we started off as the can I borrow your homework? Can I copy your homework meme? And then it turned into the Bob Ross of the happy little accidents.
Yeah, then here he is now.
He is super adorable, even though I love the little the bits under his eyes. I never knew that story. It's super, super cute. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned you joined the furry fan in summer 2017. When did you kind of get into it, and how did you kind of discover the furry fandom?
Well, I joined it in 2017 during the summer. I was just not really into it because that's when I tried to get engaged into the first time. That's when I had a Furry Amino account when everyone was doing sponsorships by them. Still haven't gotten a sponsorship for them. I'm pretty sure they're dead right now because, well, it's Furry Amino. But I joined Furry Amino. That's when I interacted with the community a little bit. And then it was a little awkward because I'm that new furry. It's what am I supposed to be doing here? What is this? What is that? I was trying to understand furry culture with there was writing and then people making arts. And it's okay, I need to do something in the fandom to get engaged. And that's when I decided to try to do furry doodles, from a normal dog to a furry dog. I tried to do that. Well, I did for a while. I was getting the hand of it. And then when it was 2 weeks into it, that's when I decided to fully kick into the fandom and make my persona, Frost. And fun fact, he was about to name Snowflake one time. And I am glad that I did it because it's a too long name. And it's just hey, there's Snowflake. It's kind of a in today's culture, it's not a good word to use, but there's Frost there. And yeah, so far in fandom, doing quite well.
On your YouTube channel, you mainly make a lot of Minecraft videos. how did you get into Minecraft and how did you kind of combine the Minecraft fandom and the furry fandom together?
Okay, it's kind of a complicated story. Whenever I was doing my furry series called Furry Spotlight, where I would just go over, like, talk about like furries, like who they are, what they are, like similar to this podcast. But once I kept trying to do it, like I noticed my viewer retention, basically how many people are actually looking at the video, like it's like below 10%. And I would get like so many views, like it was just like unbelievable. Like I'm like a lot of views, like 600 views, but each retention is like 10%. Like every time I try to make a video with like, I did my best. I love this. I am so proud of it. 3 days later, I check on here. It's like, all right, let me see. How is my video doing? I think I should do well. Oh, that's not good. And I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I am not really satisfied with the furry content because I'm not being able to reach out to other people. Like that's what I originally had for the channel, to reach out. And so I was just sitting on actually this couch here. It's like, what am I supposed to do? And then I was just browsing YouTube, and that's when I noticed a YouTuber by the name of Mysticat, who was like who had a furry OC and was doing Minecraft tutorials. And they were a furry, but also not a furry. Like they didn't have the furry label on them, but they were furry. And that's why I noticed like his video, like their videos are doing very well and just like being engaging. And it's like, okay, I could still be a furry and do like furry stuff, but I can't, I don't want to like be primarily furry. So that's when I did my video about my announcement on November 5th about how was I transitioning from furry YouTube to Minecraft YouTube and what MCYT, because like it was a risky venture since I didn't know how it was going to be. It was a all sort of gamble. And then like 3 days later, my viewer retention came from it was like from good old 10% all the way to 53%. And it's like this average, it's the same views I get like from every video. It's just with Minecraft, people actually watch it. And I was also influenced this by a exodus of furries like Rail the Protogen, Damn Dog Games, like those furry YouTubers, like they're saying like they're trying to branch out to different parts because furries are not really that marketable at that point. And I took their advice, decided to follow through, and I am doing somehow really well. And I am satisfied because I'm able to play my childhood game of Minecraft while making content with Frost. So a win-win.
What does that stand for people who don't know what it stands for?
Well, the MCYT stands for Minecraft YouTube, and it is basically the general basis of what it's basically a faster way of saying Minecraft YouTube. And that's why I'm now considered a MCYT creator. So like I'm part of that community now, I guess, also being part of the furry community because well, Minecraft, of course. And that didn't stop for some backlash, like from other furries, because I would usually sometimes get comments on there. It's like, Frost, when are you gonna do the furry spotlight thing? I'm like, who? No one watches them. Like, no one actually watches them. It goes down to 9% now. No one watches them. Like, it's just that's typical retention. It's like no one watches them. No one bothers to. 8 minutes. No one cares because I'm just in process being like literally just doing nothing. And yeah.
So actually, speaking of Furry Spotlight, why did you start Furry Spotlight? Was there a particular reason? What was the story behind it?
Right now, that is I usually start Furry Spotlight as a little project for the beginning of 2020. And like it was nice so far because I've been able to expand my editing, like because I wanted to work on it more. Because like I wanted to expand like my editing techniques and all that stuff. I was using iMovie for editing because I was not given a lot of options because I'm a furry Texan. I'm not that rich. And like I started making furry spotlight videos. They were interesting. Like I did the first one on Stormy the Wolf. Like, let me just pull up the furry spot. Like, oh my gosh, there's like, yeah, there's a lot of them. I come to think about it. Yeah, but when I did furry spotlights, like I just talked about like who they are, did a review, but people got like saying, Frost, you can't be rating furries. And I'm like, I'm not rating furries. I'm just about them. That's why I switched it to furry spotlights to make it more appealable to audiences, which I did. That did gander some attention, like, but again, the retention value was not that good. And one of them, I even got a DMCA warning because apparently I was using the to be continued music for it. Like dun 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 dun. Because yeah, like I don't know why, but they like it's just like it got to a point where people are thinking like, Frost, are you just reviewing people to like get their viewers? Well, yes, but also no, because I want to give them attention from the YouTube community, which they don't recognize, because there are some furries I did a spotlight on from Twitter. There's some I did on like Twitch, like anything outside the furry of the YouTube furry community. And yeah, and it's been going great. Like I've been befriended some of them, like Verplex, A Bit Toasty, Jack Stardust, Burube, and like others on there. And some of them, like the most recent one, well, the second recent one, JT Lusky, I tried to do one. That was apparently the worst one. Like it had a lot of views, but the reaction to it was not good. It was so awkward.
Actually, the reason why I found you was because I have a very similar playlist myself called Furries in the Media, where I don't really do it anymore, to be honest with you, because I haven't sat down to like found documentary in a long while, but it's kind of similar format where it's like, here is the thing, here's what it does. Like in particular, I really loved doing the one on the Anthrocon videos or the NBC coverage. It's actually how I got Kagi on the show. And there was one there about London Furs being on this morning and just kind of reacting to what they do and how they create and how it's portrayed the furry fandom. So it's kind of nice how we do similar things, but also different, if that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And I remember seeing that about like a segment on it in Furry Twitter about London furs and stuff. And yeah, like, but also, why are a bunch of London furries car furries? Like, that's why I always hear about. It's like, hey, look at this furry in a tank. Look at these furries posing with cars. They're all London furries. Even like when I have some furry friends in London, they always talk about cars. I'm like, is there anything else you talk about? And they said, I talk about furry cars.
You just give me the image now of like a regular car, but like fur all over it. Kind of like how Lembrat's got the furry wall of just fur, but make it just car.
Yeah.
Like Cat Bus. Make Cat Bus, but real life. Also, as I have you here, I'd like to ask you about some furry cons. So you've recently been to one. Now this is being filmed in December 2021, but being published in early 2022. So the dates might be a bit strange and a bit all over the place, but look, we'll go with it, it'll be fine. How did you feel about your first furry post-COVID convention?
Before I went to the convention, I was genuinely worried. Like, even though I have 3 shots of the Pfizer vaccine, I was still worried because I could actually get COVID. Like, I don't know if I could get COVID. Like, well, I would be almost immune to it, but I would still be considered a carrier of it because I could be able to spread it to other furries on there. And I know that furries, they're furries. They can bypass that by making a fake vaccine card or just by going to the con, not registering, but just walking around because like they can't like they could ban furries from the convention from registering, but they could still be in the main hotels and like other places, especially a certain raccoon there who was just like, he was there, like everyone saw him and they didn't like kick him out or anything. He's like, oh, he's there, we can't do anything. And he is one who is against the vaccine, and it's just like got worrying there. And when I actually got there, like I was worried, but then when I met my friends and like people I knew, like it was very nice because I knew they were vaccinated and it was just like calming. And I was able to interact with them in fursuit. I gave them hugs in fursuits. And like, oh my gosh, during the convention, it was better than BLFC to say. Because BLFC, I remember it was a mess of a con. Like people saying, oh, it's not that bad if you went there. But then again, it was not good. But MFF was way better managed, like way more comfortable. Everyone wore a mask because it was required. And it was just so calming, like even under suits. Like, and when I had to leave for the convention, like I was overly ecstatic and I felt so comfortable and glad that conventions are coming back to normal. Like I'm surprised they managed it so well. And I'm excited for, well, posting now TFF 2022, which I do plan on going with friends, and it's going to be a blast there if I continue to follow the proper guidelines.
I'm delighted you got to have a good experience at a convention because I've heard people saying because of the whole pandemic, people haven't been able to enjoy things properly. So I'm delighted people are now finally, I mean, especially in America, because in Ireland, we actually haven't got our own furry con. There's a convention, Dublin Comic Con and J-Con and stuff, but we actually haven't got our own dedicated furry con. So I'm delighted to see people are actually going back to cons and enjoying them. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, as you mentioned masks, I love your furry persona face mask there.
Thank you so
it is
much.
adorable. Oh my gosh, I said this in our pre-chat, but like looking at it now, I'm like, that is adorable. I haven't got one of my personas, Ink or Clara, but I do have this one from a friend of mine, Jeannie Beats. She sent
Oh,
me
that's
over.
so cool.
It's got the blue, and I'm like, it makes me so happy because I smile on the outside and I smile on the inside when I have it on, and it's just like furry.
That's so cool.
So kind of wrapping up here, you started off with long content videos and now you mainly publish YouTube shorts. What made you make the decision to switch from long content to basically TikToks, but YouTube?
Well, during the time I was in a period of like posting long videos, but also posting shorts, like, because I don't know why, but sometimes YouTube is like, hey, I'm gonna post, like, see that short, I'm gonna make it more marketable because apparently, according to statistics, like, well, my past statistics, like my longer videos, like anything above the 1 minute mark, don't get that much attention. But with the new YouTube shorts, the algorithm just eats it up. Like, I want that. I want that. Like, it's insane. Like, I post one short video, like, I put things you could do as a furry, which is apparently my most popular TikTok because I just literally do things that you can do as a furry. 1, leave. And it's the most popular furry TikTok that I have ever done. Like, I don't know why. It's just so funny. Like, it's just like the algorithm is like, I like that compared to other ones. I don't know why. Even this one, like, how do you use social media? Don't. You just, it just like gobbles it up. And it's just, I don't know why. Like, I've done it to like satisfy my audience because I had to post something because I was only posting one video a week and I wanted to give them fresh content. But that also gave us a burnout because, well, doing shorts daily, it can be exhausting. And it was during the time where I had something called exams. And yeah, I'm a college student. College in Texas is painful because I had to do more exams, more tests, and all that stuff. Education's important to me, but I managed to get them done, but also it burned out my furry content, like, for shorts. That's why I decided to just stop with the shorts when I transitioned to Minecraft content to allow for more opportunities. It's more easier to edit and just being able to like do this. And I'm already talking with a friend of mine who loves to edit TikToks, and she plans on working with me like next year, like during the break. Well, for her break, and like just working on getting out amazing content, so like relating to either Minecraft or furry. We don't know at this time. Like, I don't know yet, but if you see me posting on TikTok, I have more furry and more Minecraft, you probably see my decision.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Actually, speaking of content and seeing things, where can people find you online?
Okay, well, I have a Twitter, twitter.com/FrostArcFox, and then YouTube, youtube.com/FrostFox. Just no Arctic, just FrostFox. Then there's TikTok, FrostArcFox, Instagram, FrostArcFox, and Twitch, FrostArcFox. Like everything FrostArcFox, but my YouTube for some reason. And I can't change it to FrostArcFox because YouTube won't let me. It's updating. It's been there for 2 years.
So Frost, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it. It's been so much fun. And if
No
you want to
problem.
check us out online, the show's Instagram is furry.trashpod, Twitter is ftrashpod. Fantastic. And on that lovely, lovely note, thank you for tuning in to Furry Trash. Bye.
Bye.